Hello and welcome. You are now looking at Google.com, and we are going to start the process by looking at the Google Classroom application. And we're going to just write in Google Classroom into the search box, or you can go to classroom.google.com. Once you've done that, you'll just hit the search. You'll see here that there is a result at the top, Classroom signed in, and you'll go ahead and click that link. Once you do that, you'll be able to come to this screen. If you have not created a course before in Google Classroom, you'll then be able to click continue and then go ahead to the dashboard. Once you do that, then what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to click this button that says create or join a class. You'll then click create class. And then you'll just need to tell Google that you are not a school and you are not signing up with students. Once you do that, then you'll click this button and then you'll click continue. You'll want to give your class a name, a section, and subject. Once you do that, you'll then click the create button. Now what you can do inside of Google Classroom is you can actually conduct instruction, whether or not it is with employees, staff, outsourcers, or even with clients. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, got it. And we're then going to see some areas that we can actually begin to add content. Now you'll notice here that what you can do is you can post certain items to your class, and these can be YouTube videos. You can also post Google Documents. Now in the right hand corner, if you hover over the button, you'll notice that there are 4 things that you can actually post. You can create an announcement, you can create an assignment, you can create a discussion question, or you can reuse a previous post. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to create an announcement. Now because this is going to help us to be more productive, we can either post this item now or we can post it in the future. So you can actually post items ahead of time. You can do all of your posting on one day, and then you can set those posts to go at a certain date. And so, for example, what we're going to do is we're going to write an announcement. We're then going to categorize this by creating a topic. And once we do that, we can then click post. Now, along with the announcement, what we can do is we can bring something in from our Google Drive, or we can even connect a video. So in this particular case, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and connect a video. And when we click the video box, then what we can do is we can actually then search YouTube. We'll see a list of videos that we can actually attach. We can then choose the one that we are going to attach, and then we're going to click add. Now this can also be videos that you have already created, and this would be a great way for you to be able to add in additional information for the person who's actually going to be reading your announcement. And we can add multiple items. As you can see, we've actually added in a PDF by clicking this attachment. We can connect a Google Drive item, as we said. And as you can see here, we've added a Google slide from our Google Drive. We can also add in a hyperlink to this announcement. So all we'll need to do is to click this button and then write in our link. Once we do that, we'll click add link. So once we have everything ready for our announcement, all we'll then need to do is to then click post. We can also create an announcement for the future, and all we'll need to do is to go to hover over the button. We'll click the link. We'll write in our information. We can then schedule this for the future. And we can set a date into the future. What will happen is this will be visible to us. However, it will not be visible to the person who is part of the course or the system. Now, what we can also do is to assign a task, and we can do that by creating an assignment. And if we click this button, what we'll do is we'll write in the name of the assignment, and then we'll write in the exact instructions. When we do that, we can actually categorize this with a new topic, or we can actually place it inside of the same topic that we created earlier. We can then set a due date for this task, and we can do that by writing in the due date. When we do that, we can actually give a time also. Once we have it, then we will then click Assign. Now, note that what we can do is we can put a drop-down box here, and we can actually either set this assignment for the future, or we can actually assign it now. So we can make sure that it appears in the future, or we can assign it now. So what we're going to do is we're going to assign it now. We're also going to assign it to all of the present students. And you'll notice here that our assignment now shows up inside of the feed. And what we can also do is we can go back to this area, and then we can actually write in a question, and we can write in that question in a way so that it must be answered. This is another way of being able to interact with the people that are going to be inside of the Google Tools course. Now, there are some other aspects to the course. We can take a look at all of the students that are there and invite new students. We can actually write in a description for the course. We can determine whether or not those who are considered to be students in the course can actually comment in the class stream. And we can also invite in other teachers. In this case, you might invite in other partners who are going to be working with the staff, and you can have them in on this one assignment. We can change the appearance, and all we'll need to do is we can then either select a theme that Google gives us, or we can upload our own. Now, a more important aspect is how you invite people that you're going to be working with inside of the course. Of course, you can have students, you can have employees, you can have outsourcers. You can use this in any number of ways that will allow you to communicate to a student across a platform. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Students button. We're going to click Invite Students. And what you'll need to do is you'll need to have the student's email address. Once you have their email address in, you'll click Add Recipient. Now, the person or student or employee that has actually been invited will actually get an invitation from Google Classroom, and it'll look like this. All that person will need to do is then click the Join button. Now, that student will actually see the very same thing, except they'll see it from the employee or the student perspective. And so you'll be able to control what they see based on what you post and on what date is actually going to be available. So for example, this future scheduled post is not going to be visible to the student, as we can see here. And you'll see it with this browser. The person can then open the document, and what they can do is once they have completed the task, they can mark the assignment as done. And this can be a very useful way of being able to work together and have conversation with outsourcers. We're going to click Mark as Done. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to Google Classroom to take a look at it from the instructor or the marketer perspective. And you'll see that it is then marked done. So you can invite one person or several to a specific class, and you'll be able to work with that class to have conversation and workflow with Google Classroom. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. We are now going to look at doing audio transcription with Google Voice Typing. So in order to get started, we're going to need to go to Google Docs. So if you're in the search area, what you're going to do is just write in Google Docs. Once you have it, you'll search, and then you'll see a search listing right at the top. You're going to click Google Docs. You'll then enter Google Docs. You will then be in the Google Docs area. Now, the very first screen that you're going to see is going to default to the text document area. So what we're going to do is we're going to start a new document by clicking this square, and you're going to open up into a word processing document. So to get started, you want to go ahead and write a title into your document. When you do that, the title will auto save. One of the things that you'll note about Google Docs is that you'll notice that there is no saving. For the most part, Google Docs will auto save every 30 seconds. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start the voice typing application. In order to do that, we're going to go to the Tools menu, and then we're going to click Voice Typing. Now, one thing you will want to note is that you can only use Google Voice Typing inside of the Chrome browser. So if you have the Chrome browser open and you haven't enabled your microphone, what you'll need to do is you'll need to open up the browser, and we're going to do that now. And we're going to go to the settings. And we're going to go to the settings area here. We're going to scroll down to the advanced settings. We're going to scroll down to the privacy area and click content settings. And then we're going to click microphone in order to customize our mic. If we click the default down arrow, we'll be able to choose the mic that we want to work with Google Chrome. So we're now going to set the default. We're going to close back, and we're now going to go back to our word processing document. So now that we've enabled our microphone, we're going to click this mic, and then we're going to start talking. And when we talk, we'll notice that Google Docs is actually writing the information into the document as we speak. We can actually use a word like period in order to indicate period. Now, if we click the mic as we just did, that'll actually turn off the voice commands. Now, if you want a list of specific voice commands, all you'll need to do is to hover over the microphone. You'll click the question mark, and then you'll see a drop-down menu on the right side. You can then find all of the specific ways that you can actually use Google Docs and actually speak to the document to make it do what you want. For example, we can click Edit Your Document, and if we turn on the mic and we say one of these commands, we can actually edit part of our document. So, for example, if we look at Delete Last Word and we turn on this mic, delete last word. And you'll notice that the last word in the document was actually deleted. So now you have learned how you can basically create documents with your mic and headset or your microphone by speaking into your default microphone, Google Docs, and Google Chrome. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. We are now inside of YouTube.com, and we are actually inside of the screen where we actually upload our videos. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at one of our videos so that we can get a transcript. Now, the transcript is not going to be perfect, but if you need a quick transcript of something that you have done and you don't have time to outsource it, you can actually get the words from your video. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go to this Edit button. That's going to take us to the edit screen of our video. We're going to click Subtitles and Closed Captioning. We're going to set the language for the transcription. That's English. We're going to click Set Language. Once we've completed that, we can now go to the video itself, and we can now extract a transcription of the actual video. So if we go to the Watch page of the video, and we scroll down, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the More area. We can then click Transcript. And then we're going to click this English button. That's going to give us the drop-down arrow. We're going to click English. And then we actually have this transcription. And so to download it, all we would do is we would then left-click and hold down to copy the entire text, and then we're going to copy it into a document. We can then copy the document inside of Google Chrome or Google Docs or any word processing document. Now again, this is not going to be a perfect transcript, but if you need something fast before you could have it outsourced, this is a great way for you to be able to get the text of an actual video that you have completed. Now, it's quite possible that you may want to gather the words from a video that is not yours. Now, you do want to be mindful of copywriting, and you also want to be mindful of crediting the actual creator of the video if you're going to use it in anything that you're going to be using for commercial purposes. However, what you can do is to come to the front of any video inside of YouTube and go through the same process that we went through with our video. We're going to click the transcript link. We're going to click the English transcript, and we're going to click automatic captions. And then we can actually go through the same process. We can actually then copy and paste the entire transcript. And again, all we would need to do is to paste the document inside of any word processing software that we are using. Now, this again is not going to be a perfect transcript. However, again, it's going to be a quick way for you to get to the actual text of a document if for some reason you were going to be using it in something that you were doing. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. You are now looking at gmail.com, and we are inside of a Gmail mailbox. And if you actually receive email through your Gmail account, you will be able to achieve productivity through a few apps that work outside of Gmail. Now, these are actually called extensions. And you're going to be able to find them inside of Google Chrome. And if you go to the extension store and type in Gmail, you'll see a number of extensions that you can add to Google Chrome that will help you to gain more from Gmail. Now, in this video, we're going to focus on two in particular. The first is actually called Actions for Gmail. So if you go to the extension store and type in Actions for Gmail, you'll be able to come to this extension, and then you're going to click Add to Chrome. Actions for Gmail is going to ask for some permission and give you a notification. You're going to click Add Extension. Now note, this is considered to be beta software and a free trial, and they say that in the future you may be asked to pay a fee for ongoing use. Now, once you know that, then you can begin to use the software. So you do have some options that you're going to get inside of the extension. We're actually going to click all of these and then click Save. Now, what the extension does is adds 4 buttons to your Gmail. You'll notice that you have an Archive tab, you have a Mark as Spam tab, you have a Toggle Read and Unread tab, and then you have a Delete tab. And what this does is this gives you a handy set of buttons to do some of the frequently required tasks with your Gmail very quickly so that you can move through your inbox. So what we're going to do in this case, we're just going to use the button, and then we can move fairly quickly. Now, the second external extension is actually called Email Dictation, and we're going to take a look at that right now. Email Dictation is actually also a Chrome extension. So if you type in Email Dictation into your Chrome store, you'll find the plugin, and then you'll click Add to Chrome. Email Dictation will ask for some permissions. You're going to click Add Extension. And then the plugin will tell you it has been added to Chrome. So now what we're going to do is head back to our inbox. We're going to refresh our box. And what we're going to do now is we're going to compose an email. And when we open up the compose box, we're going to notice that there is a mic at the bottom. We're going to click this mic. And you may notice a notification here at the top that says that Google wants to use your mic. What you may be noticing as I speak is that the typing is actually reflecting what I am saying. So this is a great way to be able to use the Google Dictation voice typing program inside of Gmail. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. We are now inside of Gmail. What we're now going to do is we're going to take a look at some things that we can do in Gmail internally to get more productivity. Now, one of the things that we can do in going inside of the settings area of our Gmail and going here, we will then see that in a space that there is an undo send button. And what this does is this will allow us to recall an email before it is actually sent. We can determine a certain period of time that an email will remain in our box when we send it, so that if we make a mistake or we feel as if we need to go back and retrieve that email after we've sent it, we can actually do that. We can set it for a specific period of time. For example, we can set that period at 30 seconds. So this means then that when we send an email, within 30 seconds, we can actually go back and recall that email if we've changed our mind about it. So if we set this parameter, all we've got to do is then just save our changes. And we can do that at the bottom of the page. The one other feature that we can use in our Gmail box is one that will allow us to preview emails before we actually have to delete them and determine them as being read. And so we can do that by adding in a preview of each email. And again, that preview will allow us to read the email without having to designate it as being read. And this will be of a special advantage now that we have buttons on the outside that we can actually manage our email very quickly. So what we'll need to do is we'll need to go inside of the gear. We'll need to go to the settings area. And once we get there, we're going to click the labs link. When we get to the labs link, what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down. We're going to look for the preview pane. If we get to the preview pane, we're going to click enable. And when we do that, we're going to scroll down and we're going to click save changes. Now, before we begin to use this feature, we want to go back inside of our settings and we want to determine how long it's going to be before a conversation is determined as being read. We can actually control that here, and we can say that we never want this email to be determined as read until we actually mark it as read. So we can use never, we can say 20 seconds, 3 seconds, 1 second, or immediately. So we can use the never button, and then we can then save our changes. Now what happens is that when we actually go and we click an email, you'll notice then that this email can now be previewed, but it won't be marked as read. So we can then manage that email as we see fit, while at the same time we can get a preview of it as we scroll down our box. And you'll notice then that these emails have not been determined as being read. Now, one final activity we can engage in is we can go back into the settings, we can go back to the labs, and while we can add any of these labs, there's one in particular that will help us if we often search our inbox. What we can do is we can actually enable what's called quick links, and then we can click save changes. So now if we search our inbox and we were to type in the parameters CPA marketing, you can actually save that inside of our quick link system. And so in this particular case, we can then leave this as search /CPA marketing, or we can put the URL in here. You can actually leave this as it is. We're just going to click OK. And so now what will happen is anytime that we want to search our box for CPA marketing, all we have to do is go to that link. We can do the same thing again. So you'll see now we've typed in ClickFunnels. And so what we can do is we can click quick link. We'll see that search ClickFunnels. We'll click OK. And now we have that quick link in our browser. So we can use this anytime that we do a search fairly often, and we can use it to very quickly access that search inside of our browser, inside of our Gmail account. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video.